Once, in a small village, there lived a woman named Maria. She was known for her beauty, with long, flowing hair and a smile that could light up the darkest of days. Many men admired her, but she only had eyes for one, an affluent man from a nearby town. Their love blossomed, and soon they were married. At first, their life together was filled with joy. Maria gave birth to two beautiful children, a boy and a girl. But as time passed, her husband became distant. He spent more time away from home, often returning late with little explanation. Maria felt a growing emptiness, a gnawing fear that something was wrong. As the days turned into weeks, Maria's heart filled with jealousy and despair. She would watch her husband with longing, hoping to rekindle the love they once shared. But he seemed to care less and less. One fateful evening, Maria confronted him, demanding to know where he had been. In a moment of cruel honesty, he confessed that he had fallen in love with another woman. Maria's heart shattered. Overcome by rage and betrayal, she lost all sense of reason. In her darkened mind, she could only think of one thing: revenge. In a fit of madness, Maria led her children to the river. The water sparkled under the moonlight, but to Maria, it was a dark abyss. As she stood there, rage and sorrow intertwined. In a moment she would forever regret, she drowned her children in the cold water, believing it would somehow bring her husband back to her. As soon as she realized what she had done, her heart filled with overwhelming grief. The realization of her horrific act broke her. She screamed for her children, but the river only echoed her cries. "Ay, mis hijos," she wailed, her voice carrying through the night. After that night, Maria was never the same. She roamed the riverbanks, searching endlessly for her lost children. Her beauty faded, replaced by a ghostly pallor. Villagers would see her wandering, dressed in white, her hair disheveled, her eyes filled with tears. They whispered about the weeping woman, warning children to stay away from the water, lest they encounter her sorrow. Maria became a legend, a spirit forever trapped between this world and the next. Her cries for her children echoed through the night, chilling the hearts of those who heard them. "Ay, mis hijos," she cried, a haunting reminder of her loss. La Llorona's story has many variations. In some versions, she is a beautiful maiden who loses her children in a tragic accident. In others, she is a witch seeking revenge against the men who wronged her. But the essence remains the same: a mother's grief turned into a curse. In different regions, the legend takes on unique characteristics. In Mexico, she is often depicted as a woman in white, while in South America, she may appear as a shadowy figure by the water. Despite the differences, the core message remains: love can turn to despair, and despair can lead to tragedy. In modern times, the legend of La Llorona continues to captivate and terrify. Many claim to have encountered her spirit near rivers and lakes. Stories circulate about children who hear her cries in the night, luring them toward the water. One particularly chilling account comes from a group of friends camping by a river. As they sat around the fire, they began sharing ghost stories. Suddenly, they heard a faint cry in the distance. At first, they thought it was a prank, but as the cries grew louder, fear settled in. They could hear a woman weeping, calling out for her children. Curiosity got the better of them, and they decided to investigate. As they approached the riverbank, the air grew colder, and a thick fog rolled in. The cries intensified, echoing in the darkness. "Ay, mis hijos." The friends found themselves paralyzed with fear, unable to move as the weeping grew louder. Suddenly, one of them spotted a figure standing by the water, a woman dressed in white, her hair flowing like the river itself. She turned, her face obscured by shadows, but her eyes seemed to pierce through the darkness. The group fled in terror, never looking back. La Llorona serves as more than just a ghost story. She is a cautionary tale. Parents use her legend to warn children about the dangers of wandering near water, especially at night. The fear of La Llorona keeps many children close to home, reminding them of the consequences of disobedience. But beyond the warnings, La Llorona represents the pain of loss and regret. She embodies the idea that unresolved grief can transform into something dark and haunting. Her story resonates with anyone who has felt the weight of sorrow, making her a timeless figure in folklore. As the legend of La Llorona continues to be told, her cries echo through the generations. The weeping woman remains a chilling reminder of love gone wrong, the depths of despair, and the consequences of our actions. What truly lies behind her sorrow? Is she simply a myth, or does she walk among us, forever searching for her lost children? The story of La Llorona leaves us questioning the boundaries between life and death, love and loss. So next time you hear the sound of weeping in the night, remember the legend of La Llorona. It might just be a story, but the fear it inspires is all too real.